Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. It's been a little while, right? I don't even know if I remember how to do this. What do I do here? I do an intro. That's what I'm doing, right? Thank you for joining me once again. It's been like a month and a half since I've done one of these. And it was good to take a little bit of a breather. I've been working on other stuff, and it's good to give myself a little bit of space. So there's more excitement around these episodes, because when I am excited, I feel like it translates to all of you out there, and hopefully you're excited. Also, in the interim, a lot of you probably know this, but Ricky Rackman, the original host of the actual Headbangers Ball, came back. Well, I mean, he's been kind of back, but he came back with another show called The Ball, which is over on the Gimme Metal app, I think, which I still don't. It bums me out that you can't just watch it on your TV. You can watch me on your TV if you want to, folks. But anyway, apparently it was successful, and he's doing a few more episodes of it. And I actually watched some of it. I don't know if any of you did out there, but I watched some of it, and I discovered something about how I feel about that whole thing. I found out that I don't actually miss Ricky Rackman, and I don't actually miss the Headbangers Ball. What I do miss, as it turns out, is the musical climate of the late 80s and the early 90s. There's a lot of good shit today. That's absolutely. And I have no shit talking to do about popular music now. I'm not that kind of dude. But when I think about what was going on at the time, it wasn't just Headbangers Ball. It was all of the stuff that I was listening to and all the stuff that was popular. It ran the gamut from metal being the most popular it was ever going to be, over to R&B and to hip hop and pop music and rock music. Everything was just booming and fun. And it was a lot of good shit from all these different areas that was happening. So I realized, that's kind of what I miss. I don't necessarily miss a TV show. It's the fucking music. And it made me even more like, I gotta keep doing my show then, because I'm not just playing like one type of thing. It's not just the metal. I don't have to just have things be heavy all the time. And so so I almost feel like I should rename my show. Should I rename it? I don't think so. It's already out there. But if anyone thinks of a really badass name, put that down in the comments below and let me know, and maybe I'll think about it. But let's just get this shit going. So this is Old Headbangers Ball. For those of you who are new, I played music videos from around the era of the original Headbangers Ball. And we dip in other directions and other areas around that, depending on how I feel. But tonight, we're literally going to start right smack in the year that Headbangers Ball started, with a video that was played quite a bit, I believe, on Headbangers Ball back in 1987. We're going to be watching a video from this album, Pride, by the band White Lion. This was I believe the second White Lion album, and this was the one that really broke them big, with songs like Wait and the When the Children Cry was another one off this. But we're not going to be watching either one of those videos. We're going to be watching the video for probably my favorite song on the album, which is called Tell Me, which is, when it comes to the sort of sappy hard rock stuff from that era, it's one of my favorites. And maybe the word sappy it's sappy. So I thought let's start this episode off feeling good. Let's feel the love, and let's get some White Lion on with Tell Me. that's a good pause. So it's a feel-good song. There are some songs that just make you feel good, and I am not opposed to feeling good, folks. So I always like to throw out some facts. So an interesting fact, I got to remember everybody's names. So obviously there's Mike Tramp and Vito Bratta, who's the guitar player. Mike Tramp's the singer. Vito Bratta's the guitar player. He's a fantastic guitar player. But the drummer, whose name is Greg D'Angelo, originally was in Anthrax, like before they ever recorded anything. I think he was in there from 81, and then he left maybe around 83. So the original Anthrax drummer is here in this. And then the bass player, whose name is, hold on, let me look here, James Lamento. James Lamento, he actually joined Megadeth in the early 2000s, I think around 2006. And so it's interesting that this is a band that was, big in the 80s, and then, but they have these these on either side, these feet that are like stuck in like thrash metal, which is, it's my thing. So it's interesting to those little kind of facts. This band is no longer. I think for a while Mike Tramp was doing a version of it for a while, but as far as I know, there's no White Lion anymore. In my head, I keep going, don't say Great White. Don't say Great White. Because I'm like, it's close. They're both white. It's White Snake, White Lion. Was there another white one too that I'm not thinking of? I don't know. Who cares? Let's keep going. So that's the end of the solo. That is a classy solo. Vito, I feel like he's like a really underrated guitar player. I think people that listen to this style of hard rock, they already sing his praises. But I think outside of that, people don't talk about him because he, as far as I know, like this version of White Lion, the original version, like called it quits in like 1992, I think. And I don't think he did anything after that. He may have played on like random other shit, but he didn't start another band. I think he faded from the limelight, like totally. And it's interesting because he's a really good guitarist. Like there's guitarists that are like super flashy, and then there are guitarists who, like me, just aren't very good. And then he's this guy that like is really good, but he just kind of picks these little tasty things to do. I don't really need to show off that much, just a tiny bit here. And I kind of like that about him. But yeah, so I don't know. I also really like how, like, I know that it happens in a lot of music videos of this, whatever words I'm trying to say, in this era. But like, for some reason, seeing like musicians smiling while they're playing just always makes me feel good. I'm just like, oh, because eventually everyone would just be scowling all the time and very serious. And sometimes you just want to see bands having a good time, and like, clearly they were having a great time. And this is when it comes to music videos, this is pretty damn generic. It's just like, oh, we have a stage type area that we're playing in, and that's it. We're just the band playing. We have some cool outfits, and that is absolutely it. But to be completely honest, for this sort of shit, what do you want, a concept video for this song? No, you don't. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm also a very big fan of the backwards snare thing, which a lot of you may not even have heard it or know what I'm talking about, but it was big in the 80s where there would be a part like that where it was leading back in and there would just be the snare, but they would record the snare and then they would play it backwards leading into the actual snare sound, so it would be like, I mean, it's some little technical tidbit for you guys. And I don't know why. It's such an old school trick, but for some reason it's always very, very effective to me. I'm sorry. Let's wrap this up. I already said that. I won't pause it again. Maybe. All right, so there you go. That is Tell Me by White Lion. They seem like cool dudes. You just want to go hang out with them and be rock and roll buddies. Anyway, so that's how we normally begin these things, with something a little bit more light and a little bit more fun. And then for those of you who have been watching this for a while, you know what time it is. Let's move on. Okay, it is thrash metal time. And once again, I'm going to bring you one that some of you may not know, but you should. We're going to be hopping on over to Finland, and we are going to be watching a video from this album, Hospital Hallucination Take 1 from Airdash. And it's weird because on different pressings, it's Hospital Hallucinations Take 1. It doesn't matter. It's still a really weird title, and is this the weirdest artwork for any album ever? I mean, it's up there. It is. There's a television in there. There's some lips on a rock. There's different faces in the rocks. There's a lot going on, not in an amazing way on this album, but I really do dig this album. This is an album that came out in 1989. Airdash, like I said, is the band. And they were relatively popular in Finland, but didn't do shit over here. The video we're watching, I think, was played in Finland and not here. But that's okay, because we don't play by the fucking rules here. But I really like this song, this band, this album, the one after this album. They basically did 3 albums, and then they called it quits in the early 90s. But the video we're going to be watching is for the song called If... And it's just, if you like that late 80s thrash, you are in the right place. Let's just go ahead and fucking do this. Here is some Airdash. So, I mean, if you're a big thrash fan, you'll get that this is pretty kind of average thrashiness for the time. I also like how the chorus of the album, the chorus of the song is just "Who gives a shit," and I'm like, it's pretty great. But yeah, there you go. This is it's not over. It's not over, folks. But that's that. I know. I've said this many times. Every time we play the thrash song, I always say that like just this sound of this time period just fucking does it for me. There's this thrash may at the time have been looked at as not very unique, but compared to what's happening today, this is fucking awesome. Let's keep going. I don't know what any of that shit says going across the middle of the screen. Does anyone speak? What do they speak over in Finland? It's not Finnish. That sounds dumb, but probably right because it sounds dumb. I don't know. I'm American, so I do not know things about other countries. Anyway, also these dudes especially the singer, they seem really young. Like, you know, every time I see this video, I'm all like, oh, I forget that dude like looks like he's like maybe 19. I don't know. Either that or he just looks young for his age. You know, some of us do. I love how, like, you know, I mentioned earlier, like, oh, the average music video or a band's on a stage and doing their thing, and then the thrash metal version of that is like, no, we're gonna be in a warehouse. How many warehouse videos are there? Or airplane hangars. That's another one. I mean, it didn't even fucking matter. Like back in the day, it was just like, oh, cool, we get to see this band. I never thought a second time about like, what was the concept? Why did they choose this particular building? I never thought that. And now that I'm old and bored, I think about things like that. Oh man, that's what happens.
I don't care. Who gives a shit? I don't care. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? What?
Oh. I don't know who that lady was. Anyway, I love that transition at the end. It's sometimes just an abrupt shift in a song if it's done the right way. I'm just like, that's cool. Anyway, that was Airdash, and the song was called If, and the album is called Hospital Hallucinations, Take One, from 1989. Seek it out. I don't even think it's on Spotify, Apple Music. You have to Google it and figure out where it is. But it's a good album. And the album they did after this in 1991 is also very good. And then that was it for that band. So another casualty of the early 90s music scene. All right, so before we move on to our third video, let's have a little word from our sponsor.
Still reading those heavy metal magazines?
Bring your metal to life with Hard and Heavy.
I'd like to welcome you to Hard and Heavy, and that is the first
Uncensored heavy metal and hard rock magazine in the world. The Hard and Heavy.
Hard and Heavy is the world's first hard rock and heavy metal video magazine. Brought to you raw and uncensored by people who know what real metal is. Your senses will be assaulted by the biggest metal bands in the world.
This ain't no disco, this is hard and heavy.
You gotta get this one. It's called Hard and Heavy.
Hard and Heavy is packed with exclusive feature interviews. New for you, the hottest new band. Get your copy of Hard and Heavy. Use your Visa or MasterCard, plus get this free Hard and Heavy poster. Hard and Heavy, just $19.95. Write or call now. Hard and Heavy.
Go get it.
Those videos look like fun, huh? I mean, yeah. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if like somebody started to do a show where they looked at old VHS music things from back in the day and they commented on them and showed clips from them? Wouldn't that be really cool? Yeah, I do that shit now. So aside from being a little commercial that's kind of cool and kind of a throwback, that's kind of lets me talk about my new series of videos that hopefully a lot of you have seen called VHS Rewind, where I essentially take old music VHSs from the 80s and 90s, and I revisit them and comment on them, and I show clips, all the things that I said earlier. That's exactly what I do on that show. I've done 3 episodes so far, and the most recent one is from a Hard and Heavy VHS. So go watch it if you haven't yet. But right now we're in the midst of Old Headbangers Ball, and we're gonna wrap this shit up with a fucking heavy one, man. And unfortunately, an album that I do not have on vinyl, but I wish that I had. We are going to be watching a video from this album, World Demise, from Obituary, the 4th Obituary album from 1994. And one of my favorite Obituary albums, really. It's just got such a heavy kind of groove kind of thing going on, and I never get tired of it. And the song we're going to be watching is Don't Care. So we've gone from Who Gives a Shit to I Really Don't Care. So that's the vibe of this show. And then earlier it was Tell Me, Baby. Never mind, there's no theme. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get this shit started, because this song is so fucking good. So everybody turn the fucking volume up. Do that shit right now. Cool. All right, and let's get fucking ready for Obituary. Don't Care.
What they say, I don't care. I'll do what I want. I am by your side. Tell me you think what to do. No way, I don't fear. Slow down, follow your mind. I don't care what they say. I don't care.
Sorry. I mean, I pause it because that's what I do. I pause it and I talk about shit. I don't really have a lot to add to this one because it's Obituary, a legendary death metal band. And I remember when this album came out, feeling that like, oh, this is they've kind of slowed things down a little bit and gotten a little more groove heavy on this, but it didn't matter. It was a fucking badass album. And now, I shit you not, I will often see comments on the internet about this album saying it's when they tried to be Metallica. I mean, there are so many stupid people out there. It is starting to get really depressing. Anyway, don't ever do anything different, folks. If you do something, don't ever do anything different. Okay? Different is bad. Okay, let's continue with this fucking classic masterpiece of groovy death metal deliciousness. Trademark that whole sentence because I liked it.
Mine is mine, you're mine, just for your own kind. Not views from you, stand by, both sides of fortune.
I mean, yeah, it totally sounds kind of like Inner Sandman to me, you know.
I don't care. I'll do what I want. Bright lights erase me. Phantoms twist me. Calling thoughtful God. Save me. I don't care. I don't care. Don't care. I don't care. Don't care. I really don't care.
Is John Tardy the best death metal vocalist there is? I mean, he sounds amazing. I mean, he still sounds cool today, and they're still, at it today. I don't know, man. I think out of all of the original death metal vocalists, all the dudes that were doing it back in the late 80s and early 90s, I think he is probably my favorite. I love his sound. It's so good. Anyway, that was Don't Care by Obituary. I'm just kidding. That wraps it up, folks. That is a good heavy ass way to end this episode. And wink, in ending the episode, wink, wink. I think some people haven't bothered to stick around and realize there's more, or some of you just don't even want to. You probably don't want to, but this is the ending of the show proper of Old Head Bangers Ball. Thank you very much for joining me. Like I said, please go check out the few videos I've done of the series VHS Rewind, because just like this, that takes a lot of work, and it's cool when people see it and comment on it and stuff. Those of you who are here from the Old Head Bangers group over on Facebook, or if you're not in that group, go join it. But if you're here watching this live on YouTube with me chatting along, once again, thank you so much for being here. You guys are the best. Like I said, this is the end of the episode. I feel like I can't wink. It's weird. I'm just not going to try to do it anymore because it is kind of creepy. So never mind. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again fairly soon. See, man, chicks cannot hold the smoke. That's what it is. Hey, well, welcome to the after. What do I call this? The after party? Is that right? I seriously totally forgot. I think it's called the after party. Thank you for joining. If you've been here before, you already know. If not, this is the section of the episode where I play a hip hop track, usually from the same time period, because that was another big thing for me back in the day when I was young. I loved the metal and the rock, and I loved the hip hop. But today, we're going to be playing something that could be categorized, or the word, whatever word I meant to say, as hip hop. But also, it's on the alternative tip, and it's a little more fringy, I guess. But it is one of my favorite songs of all time. We're going to be watching a video from this album, Mental Floss for the Globe, from Urban Dance Squad. This came out in 1989, and this album is fan-fucking-tastic. In fact, Urban Dance Squad is fan-fucking-tastic. And they're from the Netherlands. So, I mean, we're international today. Like, we had White Lion. I think Mike Tramp is from Denmark. And then you had Airdash from Finland. You had Obituary from Florida in the US of A. And now we're heading on over to the Netherlands. And we're going to be watching the video for the song Deeper Shade of Soul. This is an absolute classic. And it is one of the, there's a handful of songs that I would say that no matter what kind of day I'm having, I put the song on and I immediately feel good. And this is one of those songs. Doesn't matter. So everybody, let's everybody who's got drinks, anybody? Or smokes, if you got them. Smoke them if you got them. But yeah, let's get ready to feel good with a deeper shade of soul.
Mellow. That's my style. Surprise, surprise. So you rub your eyes. Never knew you the yes. So cool as eyes. Hit a bike then, built a stupefy. Ducks categorize us as hard cries. That's a lie, we know why we're occupiers. No words but obscure style, and these are higher. Profiles are low as soon as we go. As a breeze straight from a deeper shade of soul. Deeper shade of soul.
As a high five him, I can't do it. It would not make any sense. So never mind. I'm doing it in my brain. Urban Dance Squad. I'm sure some of you probably know this song. If you don't, you're welcome. Yeah, this band's fucking great. This was their first album, and they put out, I think, 5 albums, all good. And I think they were really popular over in the Netherlands, and a little bit popular here. I think this was their biggest hit. But this song just feels so good. Interesting fun fact, though, on the vinyl version of this that I have, it's actually a different version of this song. And it's an odd, different version of this song. I think if you go to Spotify and Apple Music, when you listen to this album, it has this version of the song. But the one on there, when it goes to the chorus, the bass line from the verse continues to play, and it sounds you're like, what? And so This is much better. Both good, but much better.
So play the head roll, excite the middle between the two poles. The globe rotates from new to old. QDS take both to reach the souls. Narrow mind cry suckers, still holding the pose to what we bore and floor. And when we come close to the contrary, they pinch their earlobes. They call it road rock, but it's a deeper shade of soul. 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 We blend everything with a color of skin. Under the skin, we're in like Flint. Ducks stare at us as soon as we begin to innovate the frame of thought they are in. Again, music's got to do with only feeling. It's not where you're from, it's can they yielding. The stuff we rock and that we are given. A piece of the mind connects with rhythm. The shade of soul.
You see what I'm saying? It's just like, and the video is great too. It has that sort of, light-hearted summertime feel, which we're almost into the summertime. It's already fucking hot here, but yeah, this is one of those songs. Like, if I had to take 10 songs to a desert island, it's probably one of them.
Deeper shade of soul. Deeper shade of soul. Deeper shade of soul. Let the muscles collect what I say. What I say. What I say. Love me back. All right. Deeper shade of soul. 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 Deeper shade of soul.
All right. Urban Dance Squad, Deeper Shade of Soul, for the after party. I mean, that felt fucking good. And those of you who stuck around, thank you very much for sticking around. You all have excellent tastes. We do. Everyone here right now, we have way better tastes than everyone that was here earlier and left, if I may say so myself. So that's it for this episode of Old Headbangers Ball. No winkies. It's done. And I'll be back another month and a half probably. I'm gonna letting these, like I've said before, videos get blocked a lot. I'm starting to run out of things that I'm really excited about playing, so they'll be sporadic. But this is not going away. I don't care how popular Ricky's show gets. This is gonna keep coming back ever so often. Just like an old friend. I'm just gonna show up and borrow money from you. Anyway, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and do all the turn off all the things. Everybody have a good night. If you're watching this later, have a good whatever part of the day it is. Bye.